Headline number 2, and Sephora has rolled out an unlimited same-day delivery membership. According to Retail Dive, the membership, dubbed Sephora Same Day Unlimited, through it, shoppers can pay $49 per year for delivery on all purchases in as little as 2 hours. Customers can also try the program for free for 40 days.
30 days.
30 days. Did I say 40 days?
Yeah, not 40 days. You don't get, this isn't Lent here.
It's not Josh Hartnett movie, 40 days, 40 nights. And same-day delivery is also available as a one-off, on a one-off basis, starting at $6.95, which is important to point out. And my question for you is this. This was your quote-unquote, we are definitely doing this headline this week, end quote, headline.
Yes.
Why was that?
So I'm a Sephora customer, as you know.
Oh,
I mean,
I from every trip I've ever taken with you.
Exactly.
Actually, audience needs to know this. Every trip I've ever taken with you, we always go to a Sephora store.
Yes.
No matter Germany, France, doesn't matter. We're always in a Sephora store.
There's always something that you need. And so I definitely see the value in, yes, I need sunscreen. I could not bring my sunscreen. It got taken away in TSA. I need another thing of sunscreen. I would love to have this service to be able to deliver that to my hotel room or wherever I am at home. Like, I know people are going to be like, is there really a beauty emergency? Like, yes,
there is. For sure there is. Yes.
And you can attest to this, like Chris knows.
I've been side by side your beauty emergencies.
Yes. Okay. So I do think that yes, you could try a subscription. Why not? This makes sense. My only question is, like, as a Sephora customer, when I also have same day delivery options from Shipt, from Instacart, all these other things that are part of the options that Sephora is offering me, am I going to pay half of that membership to Shipt, $49 a year just to get 2-hour delivery from Sephora? Or does it make sense to have a larger membership to a Shipt or an Instacart where I can get delivery covered for $100 a year from all of these providers? I think that's a key thing to identify here. Then I'm also curious about, Chris, like, what happens if brands start doing this direct? Like, what happens to the Instacarts and the Shipt? Like, if Sephora pulls out of, okay, well, now we're doing our own subscription. We're going to hire our own drivers. We're going to do our own sourcing now. Like, what happens then? Because that now you're losing the allure of the ecosystem of brands that I can get delivery from through Shipt or Instacart.
Yep.
So
great point.
I'm curious what happens here. I do think, like, third in line, that there's kind of a Kohl's component to this in some regard or another, like how that kind of plays into the whole, do I need same day delivery when now Sephora is in 1,100 Kohl's around the same place? Like, so I have a lot of questions about this. I understand why Sephora is doing this, but I think that it's going to lead to a lot of things changing in the same day delivery space down the line. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think those are all really good points. I think the piece I would add on top of it is, I agree. I think it's a smart move. I think for a number of reasons. Like I say, we've talked about this a lot. We talked about subscription programs a lot on the show. Like, generally I like them because it costs virtually nothing to try them.
Right. And
if you hook people, then kudos to you, and they're paying for you to do something that you probably already were doing for them to some degree already, like $6.95 per delivery. Now you're getting them hooked, and they probably figured out the math on how to make that work. So that's one angle I love, Ann. The second is, I think your point about Instacart is really interesting, because the value of Instacart is there if you're a frequent Sephora shopper. And so there's the value in the subscription too, because say relative to those who are only using Instacart solely for Sephora, right? Like, for those people, they're going to get a value on this. If $49, they're going to be like, I don't need my Instacart membership anymore. It's more expensive. But for Sephora, then there's still those people that are using Instacart to access other retailers,
right,
who are going to see the premium in that. But then they're also going to see the availability of Sephora on the app, and they're going to say, oh, you know what? I'll still take Sephora this way from Instacart.
Yeah.
So it expands your audience as well. But net, I think that, to your point, leads to less Instacart engagement from people over time. And I think you'll see more people go in this direction for the brands like you. You're a great example where you have a lot of loyalty to them, and you'd rather just interact with them through their portal because it's easier. And so net, I don't see any downside for Sephora, and I potentially see a lot of downside to Instacart in the long run as more retailers follow suit on this.
What do you think, Chris? I mean, we know Sephora has worked with partners like Delivery Solutions to coordinate these, because I don't think any brand can just up and start offering delivery. Like, we've seen this in the grocery space. Like, it's very hard to coordinate the drivers to fulfill this kind of promise. But I mean, can other brands do this? Do you think
Yeah.
that are in that ecosystem? Like do they, they would have to coordinate with somebody, right? Like the Go
Yeah.
Local Walmart people,
For
or
sure.
like the delivery solutions or Front Door Collective or something to like take on those deliveries and manage that? Or, I mean, what more goes into this?
Well, I think it's as easy as you're describing it. Is like, that's why we've talked about delivery solutions a lot on the show. That's why, we were excited to advise for them too. Is like, it just makes the last mile delivery game a white label service.
Right.
And that's what's so hard about this for Instacart and Shipt in the long run. Like, yeah. And my hunch is that one of those, two providers, maybe DoorDash too, is providing the delivery for Sephora for this membership program.
Right.
And they both said that on stage at Shop Talk. They're both like, we do white label delivery. We want everyone to know that. But that's a very competitive kind of race to the bottom. So anyone can do this.
Yeah.
I mean, Walmart's got a subscription program. Sephora has it. There's countless others that I can't even think about right now. Oh, the 7-Eleven has one, right?
Right.
So anyone can do this. You just have to have the network in place and the foundation technologically to be able to do it, and do it for you at a cost that works.
Yeah.
And a subscription helps you defray that cost. So, like, again, there's no reason not to try this. And if it works, it takes you off the Instacart kind of heroin too, in a lot of ways. It takes that needle out of your arm and says, we don't need you anymore.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think this is going to be Sephora is a major player. People are going to be watching how this works out for them. And I'm excited to see kind of what the trickle down looks like of this. But
yeah, it's a great call that you wanted the headline, because it is kind of the first like shot across the bow here to this discussion that we're having of like, I can do this myself.
Yes.